How are you guys? Start with me, man.
I'm good.
Very? I'm excellent. What about you, Milicia?
I'm good.
So today we will begin the Met Talks with a question. What can we do to improve our experiences with the police? Would you like to start, man?
Yeah, we can start by having talks with the police themselves, so organising events where the youth and the police can interact in a way where it's not as if they have a higher priority than the youth themselves.
I agree, as I think your idea will be very impactful as it will nurture a more positive relationship between the youth, future generations, as well as the police themselves, as they can learn how the youth feel, but also as how our current generation, Gen Z, how we feel as a society, no, as part of the society. What are you going to say?
I would say to improve our experiences with police, I guess it's knowing about our rights, so educating ourselves about our rights and the law, and also knowing how to communicate better, because that can also affect the way we react as well. And I feel like also having something that shows our identity. I don't know if you guys seen, you know how neurodiverse people, they have a sunflower lanyard. So having something that shows, I don't know, age identity, so that know how old the young person is. What do you guys think about that?
In my opinion, that's a good idea. However, it's not like people can just wear a lanyard that says their age all the time, every single time. They might forget it, or they might see as a pointless idea. However, in your current, as a suggestion into improving our relationship with the police, I think that's a good idea. However, in my opinion, we shouldn't have to be wearing lanyards that says our age just so we don't get stopped and searched aggressively or something like that. How do you feel about that?
Personally, with the debate say about stop and search, you can't fully blame police, but you also blame ourselves as well, because when we get stopped and searched, there's just aggression that rushes in your brain, and it's just like you're worried and you don't know what to do, so your initiative just tells you question and get angry without even knowing why they're doing it. But it's also the police and how aggressive they act towards the person, because they don't know how they can take situations.
So it's almost like an initial reaction. It's the way we come across. Just because we are defensive, we feel like we're gonna be hunted and they're the predators. Is that what you're trying to say? Okay. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think the issue isn't just one side being more aggressive. I think they both the youth and the police need to make adjustments to know how to communicate to each other in a way that doesn't make the other person feel defensive or in danger.
Okay.
But why do you think the youth feel in danger?
In my opinion, I think they might be they might feel as if they are in danger due to maybe, let's say I've seen a movie, not trying to criticize movies or filmmakers. I'm saying, let's say I've seen a movie, this black person has just been harassed by a policeman who's white. I'm gonna feel, okay, what if that happens to me? Or maybe it's because our parents have taught us, not blaming parents, but I'm just saying, maybe parents have taught in the youth of today, when you see a policeman, do not try and engage at all. That's probably the only advice they've probably given. So we can't specifically put all the blame on the police. However, it's important that we relay the message on what they should do, how they should act, and also about your point about rights, make sure they know their rights as well. Especially all of this should start at a young age. As they start to become adolescents, that's when they start having having lots of conversations about the police and possibly with the police.
But why do young people get defensive?
Well, young people get defensive because it's either they've been in that situation before and they know how they get treated. So that if another police comes and starts and search them, they're gonna feel and like think back to that experience that they've seen or they've been through, and they're just gonna like try to defend themselves as much as they can.
So basically they feel scared.
I'd say they feel scared of the outcome they think is gonna happen, but they don't. Like when they see them coming towards them, they feel that yes, they feel scared, but they're also worrying about, or are they gonna go to jail, or if they're gonna get in any trouble.
Do you say that young people don't feel safe around the police?
Yeah, I think they don't feel safe because of the history that there's been and all the things they see on the news. For example, sometimes they see a youth has been harassed by a police officer on maybe TikTok or something, and that's what makes them feel scared and more defensive when they're approached by the police.
What I have to say is, although they may feel scared, we shouldn't be neglecting these emotions of fear against the police. Instead, we should be tackling the issue as to how we can stop them from being scared of the police. What can the police do to be more friendly towards the youth? Or maybe try and have more engaging conversations with the police instead of just, okay, let me just be strict on these kids. Or a policeman has come, how should I act? Should I be scared? Should I run away? Instead, the police and the community should be able to have nice, engaging conversations with each other, even possibly have fun events with each other. And that's just how I feel.
Like what you said in terms of putting in place, engaging events will be beneficial because then we can know like how we can solve the actual problem and reduce the stop and searches, reduce the negative like impact of the relationship that police is creating with young people. But other than having just events, what else could actually be put in place?
In my opinion, events like what we're doing, so Met Talks, as we call it. But in this situation, we are doing it with fellow youth or organizations that may come as well. But I feel like instead of just all fun and games, we should really have more common sit-downs with the police so that our message is being passed along. And if we still feel as if nothing is being changed, then we'll carry on as how we're doing. Lots of Met Talks, lots of engaging conversations, not just with our community youth, but with other people as well. But honestly, it's all about just spreading awareness, to be honest.
Do you think by having young people write letters to the police about what they think should be changed or solutions will actually make an impact as well?
In my opinion, there's no guarantee that the Met or the police will receive the letters, or if they will actually take into consideration, or they'll just throw in the bin. However, it's important that the youth are somehow engaging or trying to show a sense of communication with the police, trying to make change, just trying to make a positive impact. And it's better that we start from young now, so it doesn't affect the future generations to come. But that's just how I feel personally. Do you guys have anything to say?
I think, based on what you guys said, I think the best solution is actually having the events, because that's what makes the youth feel more comfortable rather than being forced to write letters. Because I don't think it's not really, they're not gonna feel the other side. They're not gonna have a proper conversation face to face.
You see how the youth like mostly be outside in a cage playing games. For say if a police officer goes and joins them, it might make an impact with that one or two police officers. like, how do you think, like, because that 2 police officers might change, but like, what happens if the whole community doesn't change? Like, what about the whole police force?
That's a good question. If the whole police force doesn't change, then it's not like we should resort to violence. Violence is never the answer. We should show passive aggression, which means taking matters into our own hands, however, without resorting to any physical altercation or rioting or any showing of manpower or whatever. We should honestly just keep doing what we're doing. However, get more organizations to join in, get more organizations to spread their awareness. For example, the Mentoring Lab, they are doing a lot to help the community to improve relations between the Met and the community. However, the Mentoring Lab can't all just do everything by themselves. So how are we going to do that? Trying to get other organizations involved. Rise 365, Quest. Those are just 2 examples. If we're able to get more influence, spread more awareness, get more people from different communities to come join in, then we just have the power in numbers. But that's just my idea, my tactic.
Talk about why is it important? Like, why does this even matter? Does it matter that the police in London underprotect young people? Does it matter? Like, are we upset about things that doesn't matter? Do you understand? Look, let's be honest. We're from countries that are called third worlds. The GPD for most countries is extremely low. Shouldn't we be happy for just being here? Shouldn't we just be putting up? This isn't anti-English talk. I'm addressing the elephants in the room. Shouldn't we just be happy to be in England? Does it matter that we don't have a full police service to hand? Does it matter? Should we be complaining? Should we be trying to make things better?
Everything you just asked me really does matter. As if nobody cares for the youth, who else is going to do it? Because if we don't try and make the impact, if we don't try and make the change, how do we know the future generations are going to do it themselves? How do we know that they're not scared because of the police? How do we know that they can't just get the determination, get the strength independently to raise the awareness themselves?
It does matter because we live in a diverse country, so there's a lot of like global, there's a lot of ethnic minorities in this country, and we need to stay safe, and young people are the future. So if we don't address this in terms of being protected, how are they gonna like engage with one another? Because it will affect how they show up. So if they don't feel protected when the police is supposed to actually protect them, how are they gonna go about their day-to-day?
What's the impact on young people's mindset, the way they view themselves, and how they engage in their local community or wider community? Like, what difference does it make? Does it make a difference? So if the police are under protecting you, so they're not protecting you enough, does it really make a difference to you in your life?
Because everybody knows that in this generation currently, there's a lot of knife crime happening and there's other violence happening, and the police are not really there at the time to stop it. And as they're not there, young people like myself and maybe others will feel like, oh, if something bad's gonna happen to me, the police aren't gonna be there to help. So I feel like the way that they're underprotecting wouldn't change, but if they protect more people, then I feel like youth and parents will feel like they can let the child go out for longer, not until it's dark, but like they can go out longer than before, because from a certain time the parents will ask their children to come back inside as they're scared that their child's gonna be in danger.
What you just said is exactly why young people should be protected. Like, being unprotected matters. Like, it does make a big impact on how our parents interact with us, in the sense of what you said, not allowing us to go out at a certain time. We can't be free. We can't just be young people. We can't have, let's say, our social life will be limited. And especially now, it's like we're going to be focusing more on being like on online. So in a sense, it does create another pandemic if you think about it, because we won't be able to socialize because outside is a danger. Being inside is going to be our safe space.
When you say you won't, this has been happening for decades.
Yeah.
It's been happening. What do you think about what Darian just said? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
I agree with what Darian said about not feeling safe outside after certain hours. And I think that's where it starts. So your parents are limiting you going outside maybe after 10 or something. And then your friends are already out. You're gonna feel more like neglected. And I think that leads to more problems, as in just not listening to your parents. Then it just keeps getting worse until maybe you start getting involved in gang activity, and it gets worse every time. So I think if the police actually protect the youth, as in everyone, I think there won't be as many gangs and problems around the area.
These conversations are quite depressing. However, it's what's been happening in the community that's making us have it, that's allowing us to have these talks. Because if the police and the community, if we never had such negative connections, relationships, altercations, none of this would have happened in the first place. But it's already happened, so what more can we do but try and resolve the problem? That is a prime example as to what the police and the community, our problems have caused. As you can see, it's not a smiling matter. It's making us have to actually think deep, us as young children, when we should be having fun, going outside in the park, having play with our friends. Here we are just trying to put in the work to make sure our brothers and sisters, as well as the future generations, our children and grandchildren, don't have to suffer the problems that we had. But I would like to end the talk on a positive note. Thank you, Mohammed, Darian, and Valencia for sharing your thoughts. However, feel free to come to the Met Talks. Free food, your voice gets to be heard, and overall it's just fun and have a nice vibe. My name's Richard. Please come to the Met Talks. We'll see you there. We will be having professional photos taken for your LinkedIn, certificate for attendance. We will have very special guests that will bring out your leadership skills and your employability skills. But overall, you're going to have fun.